this video, we'll take a look at the damage formula to understand different ways the supports can improve your damage. Don't freak out, but I'm going to show you the whole damage formula in a second. I'll explain it in parts afterward, and I promise I won't make you do any of the math. The damage formula is attack times 1 plus attack bonus plus flat attack times weapon compatibility plus flat damage times 1 plus the damage bonus times 1 plus the shred bonus times 1 plus the damage received bonus times 1 plus crit damage, and then all of that times the final damage multiplier. In most cases, you won't have all of those components factoring into your damage. You don't have to memorize that to succeed. I just want you to have heard at least the terms so that they make sense when I bring them up later. Let's run through a simple test case. My Yao Winter Solstice has 2,831 base attack and 96% attack bonus. She's using the Yamano Iwato logistics set with a 4.7% thermal damage bonus and has Tier 1 Space Cowboy. She is at Delos 3 with 250 alignment index, so she deals up to 19.5% more damage to distant targets. Her total damage bonus is 116.2%. Space Cowboy's compatibility is 163.13%, and it has no flat damage. Its crit damage, combined with the bonus from her logistics, is 100%. She does not have any resistance shred and does not cause targets to receive extra damage. She does have a 5% final damage multiplier because she is at level 50 trust. We'll have her shoot a Titan for this test. Like all enemies outside of the labyrinth, this Titan has precisely enough defense to reduce damage by 50%. It is not weak to thermal damage, so that will not affect our results. All damage has a 1% random variance, so we should expect numbers between 20,342 and 20,753, or slightly lower when the Titan is closer. As expected, we saw about 20,550 damage. Now let's test it on a biological enemy. These have a 10% weakness to thermal damage, which is calculated as Winter Solstice having 10% shred. We should see numbers between 22,377 and 22,829, or slightly lower when the enemy is closer. Looks good. Now let's try adding a support unit. We'll use Test the Magician so that we can easily use Winter Solstice's ultimate. We won't use Tess's support skill as its bonus value changes every second and will result in a messier test. Tess only affects the damage bonus part of the damage formula and will add 85% damage bonus in this test. Winter Solstice's ultimate replaces her weapon. This means her compatibility changes to 450%, and she gains 10% crit damage amplification, which works out to 10% crit damage since her weapon's base is 100%. We're only going to take one shot here because each subsequent hit on the same part deals a bit of bonus damage. We also need to discard the first shot after using our ult because it will be buffed by Space Cowboy's passive. Here's what her damage formula looks like before test. We should expect between 58,922 and 60,112 damage.
Yes, great.
Now, let's add the 85% damage bonus from tests. We should expect between 82,088 and 83,746 damage. Perfect. Next up, let's see how Acacia Kaguya can help us. We'll equip her with a Tier 3 Prismatic Igniter, which will give Winter Solstice 519 flat attack when Kaguya uses her support skill. The skill itself will reduce enemy resistance by 24%. This is calculated as Shred. Kaguya will be using the Amarna Logistics set, which will give 20% attack and 30% ballistic damage. Here's what the damage formula looks like with Tess and Kaguya. We should expect between 133,817 damage and 136,520 damage. Part of the reason Kaguya is so valuable as a support is that adding Shred to the damage formula introduces an entirely new multiplier in most cases. Very few effects can shred resistance, and no others are as powerful as hers. If you modify one part of the damage formula with multiple bonuses, you only get exactly what you add. However, if you modify several parts that get multiplied together, your bonuses compound. When we added one support that modified only one part of the damage formula, we increased our damage by about 20,000 or 30%. When we added two supports that, together, modified three parts of the damage formula, we increased our damage by 70,000 or 115%. Let's look at an example with a simplified damage formula. We'll just do attack times attack bonus times damage bonus. If we have 1000 attack and 100% attack bonus, but no damage bonus, we'll do 2000 damage. If we swap our 100% attack bonus entirely to a 100% damage bonus, we'll still do 2000 damage. But if we split the bonus evenly into a 50% attack and 50% damage bonus, we'll do 2,250 damage. This is because our 1000 attack changes to 1500 after the first multiplier. Then this larger number is fed into the next multiplier. Kaguya's Shred adds a third multiplier to this chain. Our damage number is increased twice and then multiplied again, which results in a series of damage gain, even though the percentage isn't as big as the others. When using the Amarna Logistics set to also buff attack and damage, Kaguya can modify three parts of the damage formula by herself. If you already have significant attack and damage bonuses, consider using Kaguya to add a third multiplier. Finally, let's look at Malksher's Shadow Ka. If you don't know what to look for, it's easy to miss why Shadow Ka is so powerful. Fortunately, we know that modifying multiple parts of the damage formula results in a better value even if each individual multiplier is relatively low. Shadow Ka increases attack, damage, critical damage, and final damage. The final damage portion is a bit hidden. Her doll will transfer more damage to the linked target than it actually takes, which is effectively a final damage bonus that happens after regular final damage is applied, if you have any. By modifying 4 multipliers, including one that is unique to her, Shadow Ka allows for massive damage numbers.
本日は晴天なり邪魔しないでね次の一撃は痛いぞ今この瞬間私は蘇る目の前に実績があるのに捨てるわけないでしょ
Next time, we'll look at utility, or ways that supports can assist that don't directly involve the damage formula.